Hello.
Hello and welcome to the first installment of FlixFinds. What we're going to do on FlixFinds is we're going to take some movies that we've seen recently through Netflix, so they're old movies, and we're going to talk about them a little bit and tell you our different, how we feel about them and our different opinions. Scott and I both like movies for very different reasons, so hopefully you'll identify with one of the two of us and you'll decide if you like it. At the end of each discussion on each movie, we'll kind of just, both of us will give our individual account of yay, nay, or if you're really bored on a Saturday, go for it.
Like Tara said, we are calling it FlixFinds because these are movies that we've seen on Netflix. So hopefully this is going to be kind of a service to you if you are a Netflix member, or if you've been thinking about becoming one. Maybe this will give you a clue of what to watch or what not to watch, as the case may be.
Great. So the first movie we're going to just have a little discussion about is Boys Don't Cry. Hilary Swank won the Oscar for her acting in this movie as the lead, who was Tina Brandon, also known as Brandon Tina. I really liked it. Overall, what did you think?
Well, it's an excellent movie, and it was critically very well received, and for good reason, I think. Hilary Swank is a very good actress, and this is where she really came into her own, and the world took notice, even prior to $1 Million Baby. She was playing a very complicated character as this girl, or physiologically a girl, who really wants to be a boy, and really becomes one. And I was impressed, because from the very beginning of the movie, you feel like it's a boy, even though you know better. Yeah, I did some, that's based on a true story. And I did some looking around on the internet and found out more about the real story, and they changed a lot. So don't look for anything historically accurate. But it is good to learn about these people and what happened with them. No matter what you think about the issues surrounding it, it's an educational experience, and it's something that everybody should really put some thought into, I guess, and decide what they think is right.
Yeah. So Tara gives it a thumbs up. Go see it.
Yeah.
There's my camera.
Thumbs up.
Alright, second one was The Great Silence. Now this movie was definitely chosen by Scott and put on the Netflix list by Scott.
Il Grande Silenzio. It's an Italian film from the late 1960s. The main character's name is Silence, and he's a mute. He was very well cast, and he didn't have any lines at all, so that part was easy for him, I guess. But he was
but he still showed emotion. I mean,
he fit the character very well.
To let you know, I've never been interested in spaghetti westerns at all, and I actually really enjoyed this movie. So, it had some moments where I was upset, but luckily the DVD comes with an alternate ending.
Oh yes.
Which I
with
greatly
no sound,
appreciated.
Though.
Yeah, no sound, but I appreciated
short.
the idea of something different. The Great Silence, I appreciated the story. The acting was good. Again, sad, and I've been watching a lot of violent movies lately because of my wonderful husband. But it was, it's a good Saturday afternoon. I've got nothing else to do. I wouldn't go out of my way to see it, but if someone else has it and you're like, oh, I've heard of that, then watch it. I would not recommend it. So it's my medium.
Oh, one other thing, it's the only Western I've ever seen that was set in the winter in snow. It's in Utah, and there's snow everywhere through the whole movie. I thought that was really cool.
It was very cool.
Thumbs up from me.
Middle for me. Where's the middle? Alright, let's move on to Rachel Getting Married. This is a very new movie. I think it came out last fall, in the theaters. It was up for the Oscars last year. Anne Hathaway was nominated for Lead Actress Award Oscar for this. It started some debate on Facebook. I posted that I watched it, and two of my friends both mentioned how depressing it was, and I actually found it the opposite. Rachel is the sister of Kim, who's played by Anne Hathaway, and Kim is getting out of drug rehab, and the day before her sister gets married. So it's really about Kim getting out of rehab and the huge adjustment that comes psychologically and physically from leaving an intense, isolated setting to all of a sudden being in a group of friends and family in this highly emotional time of anyone's life anyway. She goes to AA, she talks about God, and I really found it uplifting that it's this girl who she's struggling, and it's sad to watch her struggle that way. But she's trying to get better. She's trying to understand the problem, and she's moving on from it. I enjoyed it. The only bad thing I have about it is there was a segment of 15 minutes of Rachel's wedding reception that just could have been done without. I mean, yeah, it looked like a great party. I wish I were there, but there was no need for us to see 10 minutes of people doing different styles of dancing.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said, except for I thought the wedding scenes, though they were very long. You've never seen a wedding like this. It's the most incredible wedding you can imagine. I read Roger Ebert's review of this film, and that's what he actually liked about it.
Oh.
And you know, and the title is true to the movie in that way. This movie is about Rachel getting married, and if you want to see an awesome wedding movie, I recommend this one. Okay.
Talk a little bit about Leatherheads. Leatherheads, I was so excited about this movie when I heard about it. It was filmed in South Carolina, which I'm from the South, so anything filmed in the South is wonderful, of course. It starred George Clooney, who's always great and wonderful to look at. Renee Zellweger, who's a good, of course, a good actress, and then John Krasinski, who plays Jim on The Office. So I was just excited to see him in a big screen situation, and I see what George Clooney was trying to do. He was trying to make Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
The idea is great.
The idea was wonderful. The execution left much to be desired. In fact, Scott didn't finish watching the movie.
I couldn't sit through it. It was just, and I read critics who felt the same way I did. Just the way the way George Clooney mugs to the camera, and I felt this way about him for years. He just, with every movie that I see of his, I feel worse about him. I really am not liking George Clooney these days. But it's just over the top. The way he acts, the way he directs. I don't appreciate it.
Like in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Over the top worked.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, well, we should add that to the list.
Everybody's seen it but me.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's on the list.
Okay. If you like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, there is a itsy bitsy teeny chance that you might like this movie. But it tries to be that for football, and it's got a great story to it.
This is one of those rare movies that I would actually not mind seeing a remake of, because I would love to learn more about. I'd love to see a good movie about the early days of American football, and this is not one I can recommend at all.
I agree. Wrap it up finally with Junebug. The main character is from New York, and she's an art gallery owner, and she's very sophisticated and wonderful. And then she goes to visit the family of her now husband, and there's a girl who's very pregnant and very interesting, played by Amy Adams, and she was just amazing. Very naive. Her character was just the sweetest thing. You just want to hug her and bake her a pie. And she loves meerkats. I don't know why I keep saying that every time I talk about this movie.
That's
I'm
funny.
like, oh, but she loves a meerkat. It's a really cute movie. As far as a plot, there's not so much, but it really talks about an emotional struggle and between this sophisticated woman trying to figure out who her husband is, because they come from two different places. I would see it. I would recommend it.
Oh, definitely. Junebug is good. There are some very tense scenes with the brother of the husband in the movie, who is very frustrated because his brother has been able to move to New York and have this whole other life, and I think he feels kind of stuck where he is, and he was difficult to watch, but I've seen people like him, and I kind of understand what he's going through and why he's so miserable in his place in life, and I really felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
Even though he was a very violent character, but I felt sorry for him. I have to say it's one of the most authentic movies about Southern life I've ever seen, because I've been in the South a lot, and I've been hanging out with Tara's family for the past couple of years, and it really is true to what people are like.
It is. It's not so stereotypical.
It's not cliche. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times you get a Southern movie where the woman talks like this and they bake pies all day. But it's a great movie, and I think you should see it.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Well, that's our show.
That's our show. Hope you learned something, and maybe you'll go Netflix one of these this week.
Yeah. So we'll see you next time. I'm Scott.
I'm Tara.
Bye.